Hi everyone, Joanna here. I'm going to talk about when my niece moved in with my family and I at about a year and a half to 2 years old, around that age. And I remember that it was really hard to get acclimated to having a toddler in the house. I remember an incident when she started breaking things in the house and getting a hold of things that she shouldn't be holding very easily. She would just go ahead and reach for it. Sometimes we'd wonder, like, how the heck did she get in there? Um, she would get into my sister's makeup box, um, get into the shoe rack, throw them all around, try them on, all that. And at that point, my family and I had to rearrange things in the home and kind of be mindful of, like, okay, we can't put that out. That's fragile. She'll get hurt. It's dangerous to have that around there. So as time went by, we started to adjust to a different lifestyle with her here. But I realized that as time progressed and, giving her a chance to explore, we were able to understand what she wanted to eat or do, or what she was thinking. And I remember that it was a little bit hard and difficult to feed her. In my household, we eat Filipino food, majority of the time. And, we'd make certain dishes. Some of them she'll like, some of them she won't. But as time went on, about like 2.5 years old, I think, she was able to tell us, like, oh, I don't like that. Or, oh, I really like this, and it really made it a lot. It was easier to feed her at that point. Um, and, it was easier for us to, prepare meals or like plan dinner and lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for her. Um, and according to Erickson's theory of autonomy versus shame, this stage occurs around 18 months to 3 years old. It's when toddlers are in that curious, vulnerable stage and they're building autonomy and self esteem. And, at this point, it's kind of like the terrible twos, which we definitely um, experience with her temper tantrums and all that. But at this stage, she was able to really, address what she wanted. She was very confident in what she wanted, very sure, like, in her decision making skills. And given that she lives with us, I frequently took her to her medical appointments. And I remember that the first time I ever took her to her pediatrician's office was the first time she ever met her pediatrician, because she was changing insurance plans at that time, or whatever. Um, but I remember that she was frightened a bit, and I know that I was when I was a young girl too. Um, and what they would do was they had like a play stethoscope, like a toy stethoscope in the room, and they would be like, yeah, look, you can listen to your heart and all that. And you know and then next and then they would listen to her heart, and she would feel a lot more comfortable um, in having them listen to her lungs or her heart. And even till this day, she's 6 years old and she's not scared. I mean, of course, she'd cry when there's shots, but I feel like that really helped her. Um, now she's very trusting of her pediatrician. She knows who she is. She's aware. She knows what that stethoscope does. Um, but I feel like that as a future nurse, I would take on those skills as well. I think those are really great ways in engaging with pediatric patients, is to kind of like really get them involved, make sure that they know that, make them feel safe in their environment. I remember I worked at an emergency department and we'd frequently get pediatric patients because we served as a pediatric emergency department as well for a little while before another one opened up close by. And I remember we had this one nurse who would bring bubbles and have the kids blow um, as hard as they can on the bubbles, and then that would give her um, a chance to listen to their lungs. And I feel like that was such a great way in making the child kind of like involved and giving them a sense of control. And I think that that's important in care. Autonomy, um, you know, it does make them feel like, okay, like you know, I, give them confidence and reduce anxiety um, while they're getting checked.